Hello and welcome to Paul Runs Daily. Today's video is a route recce of the Anglezarke Amble. I'm just about to finish the route. I did record a bit of an intro at the beginning, but things haven't quite gone to plan. A mixture of appalling navigation, trail closures and some very boggy conditions have meant I've been out much longer than I anticipated. So we finished up with 35 k's and around 5 hours of good solid time on feet. So hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to hit subscribe and I'll see you all soon. Good morning and welcome to a rather gloomy and cool Rivington. In today's episode I'm going to be having a run around the Anglezaerke Amble long course route. It's a 24-mile course for an event that takes place in February. Haven't done this route before, but I've had a quick look at the map and it doesn't look too difficult to navigate. So hopefully I'll be able to finish before dark. My name's Paul and this is Paul Runs Daily. The Anglezaerke Amble is an event hosted by the Long Distance Walkers Association, and it was originally just for walkers, but over the years more and more runners started to take part, so it's pretty much a 50-50 mix now. And it starts with a rather stiff climb up to Rivington Pike. And here we are at the top of Rivington Pike, and we've got spectacular views of the surrounding area. Right, let's get down. Well, that's the first summit completed. Got a little bit of flat ground now, and then we start the climb up to the Winter Hill transmitters. I think we're stopping off at an old crash site as well, so we'll have a little look at those too. And this is the second major climb. This takes us up to a trig point called Two Lads. It's quite steep and the trail is quite eroded in places and zero visibility. So apologies for that. We've had some awesome weather recently. Just missed the trail, so I'm going to have to cut across. I think we're back on it now. Whew. On the road to the Winter Hill transmitters now. This road is closed to public vehicles, and is a great workout if you want to come and do some hill repeats on your bike, running. I've even done a little bit of cross-country skiing up here on the roller skis. It can get interesting going down, but it's a really good workout going up, and it's quite a relief to be off the open fell. We've had a lot of rain in the early part of autumn, and the fells are getting very, very wet, and especially around here where the trails aren't as manicured as they would be perhaps up in the Lake District, so you can't really trust puddles. Sometimes you can go down waist deep and there's still no sign of any views, but trust me, they are spectacular. And we've got just a little bit of a view coming in. I don't know if you can see that, but just over there you can see a reservoir. Hopefully you will be able to see it. And that's where we're heading. So we're going to circumnavigate that reservoir and then come back across Winter Hill on the other side of the mast. And I have very nearly come across a couple of times. I've got my trusty Sportiva trail shoes on, which are a superb shoe for everything apart from wet and muddy conditions, which is what we've got today. Well, I just missed that turn. I took a phone call and lost a bit of concentration, so we've had a bit of a detour, but we're back on the route now, and this is a very, very boggy section. Ugh. It's treacherous because you don't know how far you're going to sink down into the mud. If it was just regular sort of mud, I'd probably have a go at jogging down it, but when it's like this, you've got patches where they'll take you down to your shins quite easily. Well, that section is going to be a hell of a lot of fun in February come race day. And I don't think this is a particularly grand section of trail. I don't even think it's a path, but I can hear running water and we're about to cross a stream. So hopefully we're in the right direction. Yeah, I can see a better path now. Right, hopefully we're clear of the mud now. I've just had a quick check of the map and I think I'm going to cut the reservoir loop off and follow the shorter course. I haven't brought a head torch, and I think if I carry on with the long course I'll definitely be finishing in the dark. So we should still finish up with around 25-30k. I don't know where the trail is now. There we are. Navigating on open fell is very challenging. I'm using my Apple Watch permanently on maps and it's doing a pretty good job, but I think the GPX trail that I've overlaid on the map hasn't got enough waypoints, so it tends to straight line some of the sections, when really if there was an extra couple of waypoints it would give you a much better idea of where the route actually goes. And it's very slow going, and from a bit of a safety point of view I'm on my own and a twisted ankle would be quite problematic. So that's the path I should have taken. God knows where I've just been. All over open moorland. This is going to be a bit of a nightmare on race day. So it'll be interesting to see the map when we get this route uploaded, see where I actually went wrong. And now we've got quite a large ravine, which according to this we are crossing. Right, so this is the point where I'm going to cut a section of the route off. I'm going to follow the road and we're missing out the reservoir loop. So probably cutting it short by around 10k. But I've just lost an hour faffing about in a field and I'm getting a little bit concerned that I'm not going to get back before it gets dark. So we're going to have a bit of a road section now, so I'll not do any filming there. And then we'll rejoin the route on the other side of the reservoir. Right, away from the road again, I'm back on the official route. So about 3k's of road running and then we're back on the trail. And we've got quite a long climb now. So I've been going for about 2.5 hours now. Got about 13-14k to get back to the car. And at this rate, it's probably going to take me another 2 hours, maybe even longer. I've no idea what the trails are going to be like. We're on a pretty decent section now, but if the last 5 or 6k's are anything to go by, this is going to be a slow one. We're back onto open fell again. Now we've had a beautiful trail for the last 4 or 5k's or so, but now it's back into the mire and we're up on the tops, so the mist is well and truly come in. I've also lost the connection with the mic, so we're relying on the sound from the camera, so we may get some wind noise on there as well. It's not too windy at the moment. It's a pretty uninspiring route so far. A little bit of a disappointment. We've got about 10 k's to get back. So we'll crack on. Probably not film much more from now. I'll do a little bit when we get back to the car. See you in a bit. Right, it stopped raining and we've got a little bit of visibility back, so I thought I'd have a little chat. I've just gone through the 20k point and we're about to circle Darwen Tower, which you can see there. I made a schoolboy error with navigation. My watch had frozen and I kept glancing down at my map and it was showing that I was still on the route, and then it was only ages later I realised what had happened, and when I went back to look at the route I'd taken a huge detour. So I know I'd done it a couple of times previously, but I'd managed to catch it before it got too critical, but this time it was probably about 5k I was out, and then I had to trudge back through a few fields to get back on track. So I'm going to have a minute here and then we'll run down into Belmont. So the run off from Darwen Tower is pretty straightforward. I've done this route many times before, so hopefully should be fairly straightforward navigation. And we keep getting little gaps in the mist and glimpses of decent views, so it's not been a complete washout. Pretty bleak, but we're actually on the West Pennine Way now. So last section of moorland, it's a little bit up and down this little bit, and from memory the trails are pretty poor, but we've not got far to go now, and this is very slippery. Definitely a case of the wrong shoes today, and we are running out of light as well. It's a bit gloomy. We've still probably got another hour or so before it needs to be a concern, and I don't think I've got much more than maybe 5 or 6 k's left from here, so I should be able to get back before it gets too dark, but we'll have to see. Oh. Well, it's definitely been a bit of an adventure. Out of the wind now, and we're just on the little section going past White Coppice. Horrible descent, lots of very slippery loose rocks and mud, and I think I've miscalculated the distance back. I think the bit we cut out wasn't quite as long as I thought, so we're now on 28k, and I think we've still probably got another 7 or 8k left to get back to the car. So feeling quite tired, but the legs are good. A little bit hungry, didn't bring any food with me today. I think this is the checkpoint just down here. The route's taking me down into a cricket club, so that was the 18-mile point. So it's 6 miles back to the car. So it's been a bit of an epic day out today. thoroughly enjoyed it. Much tougher than I thought, especially with those open moor sections. And I've been out for over 4 hours, so way longer than I'd anticipated, especially with that bit of that cut through on the route. I thought I'd fly back. So a fairly good section now. I'm going to have a bit of a run and try and knock those kilometres off and get back to the car. And this is the Anglezaerke reservoir, so we mustn't be too far from the car now.